Hey, this is Monty once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. Doing my morning chores as usual. I'm always doing a whole bunch of different things in the mornings. It's a habit. Okay, mornings are very, very busy, and I'll probably be ignoring phone calls and such, at least while I'm doing this podcast. Anyway, this is Monty Henry, owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment. How you guys doing? We run a full-service security, surveillance, and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. We have perhaps the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent or layaway as well. Me and my cat, Lazy Bones, are up and at 'em early this morning as usual, working together. He's going to be chiming in, of course, with his own opinions and rebuttals on the subject matter. Now, Facebook is in the news, and I think it's interesting why. Right, Lazy Bones? Yep. He says Mark Zuckerberg probably lost a little bit of sleep. Not much, but he lost a little bit of sleep. Mainly because Facebook's stock took a hit, and it's off by 18-20% or something like that, and it's probably gonna rebound quickly, but the problem is it looks like the long-term trend is definitely indicating that business model, and see, a lot of you are going to feel vindicated, mainly because this hits at the heart of something that I've been saying for a long, long time. Facebook hasn't been completely honest and straightforward with the way they handle, particularly the advertising model. The pay-per-clicks and the pay-per this and the pay-per that. That model really leaves a lot of room for fraudulent behavior. Okay, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of fraudulent behavior when it comes to the ability for someone to click on a button or something on the internet and we can't verify it. Auditors really can't get a handle on where or who is clicking on what. Are these bots? Are these just algorithms? Are these networks of people who are just driving up Facebook's, Google's, Yahoo, whoever, advertising revenue by clicking on something? If I sit there long enough to click on a banner or some sort of advertising piece that you paid for, it looks like you're getting a lot of activity, when in actuality, it's just my people, my programmed bots or something that's just driving up ad revenue for my company. You know, the social media company, not the retailer, not the person who's actually trying to sell a real product or a service. So I don't know about you guys, but I've seen this already before in the past where, you know, independent auditors have found out that a lot of bots and a lot of these clicks were actually fraudulent. And, you know, the big advertisers are learning. They're learning already. You guys need to learn too. The implications of this. Procter and Gamble and you name it, Ford, General Motors, a lot of these companies have actually pulled back on online digital advertising, mainly because of this problem. It's harder and harder to figure out where, you know, what's real and what's not online, especially with Facebook and those guys, because their networks of advertising that they use is so convoluted. One case, the infrastructure was completely fraudulent. Fake fake ads, fake data centers that had literally been set up to reproduce everything in the advertising network. Fake websites, fake ads, fake clicks, fake everything. Everything had been set up to intentionally drive millions, if not billions of dollars in fake revenue to someone, somehow. Now, the social media sites are trying to distance themselves from this revelation that, we're finding out more and more about in terms of how everything has been just basically set up to separate advertisers from their money. But that's what's been going on. And see, and then you throw in the idea of this privacy-related issue. Now that European governments, particularly, are cracking down on the way privacy is handled, now more and more of these social media sites like Facebook, Google, whatever, they're starting to realize, look, the game is probably going to be over eventually, mainly because if I control my privacy data, now you have to ask me for it. If you're Facebook or if you're Google or if you're Bing or Yahoo or wherever, you have to ask me for my data, and you only get access to it on the terms and conditions that I specify. So that is not good news if you're one of the big social media sites, because that means that now you can't go to your advertisers and say, I can deliver all these customers without any issues to you, and you can make tons of money, and we don't have to worry about privacy. We don't have to worry about laws and rules and regulations. Now you do have to worry about laws, rules, and regulations. You have to worry about this GDPR, I think it's General Data Protection Regulations or something, coming out of Europe and going to be implemented in the United States and elsewhere. So that's a major setback for these sites. And guess what? Investors are starting to take notice, and that's what's driving down the revenue with a lot of these social media sites and these online digital advertising agencies and such. That's where a lot of companies, believe it or not, you guys, a lot of companies are now going over to traditional advertising areas, such as print, such as TV and radio. So people are going back to the old school methods. So anyway, that's what's happening. So karma is coming back to haunt these guys, Facebook, etc. Even MasterCard, and I'm going to make a segue into the idea that profits and such for MasterCard and Visa are also being impacted. They just reported numbers that are very down for the latest quarter, which in and of itself is not an issue, but you always look at the long-term trend. So anyway, what's happening is the consumer and the economy is weighing on the profitability of a lot of these companies. When the economy slows down to the point and you start to hear the R word a lot more, like a recession, for instance, that tells you that a lot of companies are going to be looking for an excuse. They're going to be looking for a way to blame something or someone. Right now, that something is tariffs, that something is the strong dollar, that something is everything except what they want to admit, that they know they really should admit. That's the economy is slowing down to the point where it's becoming more and more difficult to make any money. See, everybody had this business model of discount. If it wasn't 70, 80, 90% off, these companies couldn't drive traffic to their stores, to their websites. At DPL Surveillance Equipment, we never did that. I could give a shit about discounting my products and services enough so you can afford it. For far as I'm concerned, your solution and your problem is in your control. You get a better job, you save more money, or you stop shopping. You start saving more, you start investing more. That's why we're big proponents of Bitcoin and such. It follows the Keynesian economic model, whereby you save and you invest and then you prosper, as compared to the other model that puts more emphasis on consumerism. See, consumers are losers. That was yesterday's game. Now you have to take a look at this Keynesian model, whereby you save and you invest and you prosper. Everyone wins. But the consumer-based model, that's history. That's make the economy, the country broke, and most people are broke because of it. So stimulating an economy by consuming, and spending, that's yesterday's news, and that's no longer something you want to involve yourself with. So anyway, we just wanted to bring this to your attention, that the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency industry, is having a field day watching the system crumble. And I'm going to see if I can find an article relating to how blockchain also is going to disrupt the digital advertising model. In other words, there's going to be accountability when all of that business is flowing over the blockchain, as far as advertising and networks and traffic is concerned. If that's on the blockchain, that means you can go back and audit it. You can view it. It's on an indelible, immutable record online that can't be changed. So anyway, as the blockchain takes over more and more, the advertising network and the data that flows over there onto the blockchain, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be less and less opportunity for fraud. So we're going to clean that area up, and you're going to see more and more of these traditional social media sites and digital online advertising sites. They're going to be taking more and more of a hit. They're going to become more less and less relevant, mainly because of the way data is going to be handled in the future. You're going to have control over your data. You'll tell Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Bing, whoever, when they can use your private data, when they can, and how long and how much. So I think that's going to be monetized in the future. Whenever you give someone permission to use your data, they're going to have to give you something for it. And anyway, that's what the future's going to look like. And we just wanted to pass this along to you guys that had problems with Facebook, for instance, or whoever. When they shut down your accounts and close it and just tell you to look at these 300,000 pages of terms and conditions, and nobody ever talks specifically about what you did wrong, but they just refer you to all of these different 1,000 pages and all of that, and you lose all your photos, all of your contacts, all of your this and that and the other. And that's why I've been telling you guys also to back up and download your profiles on Facebook and whatever, so you have it on your computer or somewhere. But anyway, yeah, karma is a bitch, and this is what happens, and this is the trend going forward. More and more of these companies are going to start getting a taste of their own medicine. So give yourself a pat on the back, and there is a such thing as vindication. So you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later as I get caught up on my chores and news, what's happening in the markets and such. We'll talk later. Bye.